Folks, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. We have a very important article from thegoldadvisor.com titled "The Next China for Silver." Now, this article came out only 2 days ago, and that is exactly why you need to subscribe. It is critical, not for my sake, for your own, because I will do the hours of research per day for you, keeping you in the loop. You cannot be blindly investing, along with the daily important videos I will share highlighting what's happening in the economy, geopolitically, through the markets, the fundamentals. Plus, I do podcasts on a weekly basis with Andy Sheckman, also interviewing the CEO of silver mining companies and many, many more things, along with silver giveaways as well, which, by the way, I will be doing another channel giveaway very soon, and I am not stingy. I'm known for doing very big silver giveaways, so make sure you click subscribe if you want silver shipped straight to your front doorstep. Just click one button. Now, let's jump into this article. China's dominance of the solar manufacturing industry runs to the tune of 80%. So it's not surprising the country dominates silver headlines, which it truly does. China, of course, is the biggest importer of silver. They've been focusing more on silver lately, more so than gold, which they did focus on gold previously. Now everyone is turning their heads towards silver, which we all know is going to be a problem since there's not much of it left. But investors need to take stock of India's growing influence on silver markets. Long known as precious metals aficionados, Indians have been storing their wealth in gold and silver for a very long time. Indians buy gold and silver as a method for savings, especially because it can always be sold for cash if needed, and because they have little trust in their currency, which has gone through endless dramatic cycles of debasement. Now let's pause right here, because we also know that China has been doing something interesting with silver. On the Shanghai, we see silver, or the premiums at least, $4 or $5 higher than on Western exchanges. But why? We do see a power shift happening. And like I said in the last interview with Andy Sheckman, which I highly recommend you go check out, October is a very important month, folks. October is even more important than November. I guess depending on what we're talking about, or to the effect of what could happen. And I mean, the effect of precious metals prices could be more affected by what's happening in October than even the November 5th election. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Well, Slayer, what's happening in October? I guess you didn't watch the interview or my recent videos, which is why you should be subscribed, because I'm covering stuff that nobody else is talking about. We know there's a huge BRICS meeting in October, which if you do watch my channel, you already know about this. If you're new, well, welcome aboard. You want to hear some crazy stuff happening? Check this out. Huge BRICS meeting in October. Over 150 countries are going to this meeting. They are announcing their new currency called the unit. Now, the unit is backed by 40% gold, or tier 1 assets, real money. Their currency, their digital currency, is backed by real currency, real wealth. Now, why does this matter so much, Slayer? Well, one, because the USD is the world's reserve currency, so we rely on other countries respecting the dollar and using the dollar. But actually, Russia, a couple months ago, completely detached from the dollar. They do not carry dollars anymore. And what's going to happen when, remember, there's 150 countries joining this BRICS meeting. All these countries are trying to hop aboard the BRICS nations, which, by the way, it's like the BRICS versus the G7 or NATO. We're the G7. They're the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus many more. 150 countries are going to that meeting. They're announcing the currency there. This is more than half the world, folks, plus the Belt Road Initiative. They are transforming into a new, whole separate entity, and they're kicking the United States to the curb. That could dramatically affect the dollar. And remember, there's a direct correlation between the dollar index, the dollar strength, and precious metals prices. When the dollar index is down, gold and silver goes up, and vice versa. When the dollar index is stronger, precious metals do terrible. But if we know that all these countries are detaching from the dollar, throwing their dollars or sending their dollars back to us, overflooding the market, we are screwed. It's called de-dollarization. We're losing the status as the world's reserve currency, which Trump has talked about many times. But something else is happening on October 1st now. And if you haven't watched my channel, or if you don't watch my channel, you probably didn't know about this, which, folks, when I say subscribe for your sake, not for mine, I'm being serious, because I'm giving information on a daily basis that I don't see many other people talking about. And if they do talk about it, they don't pump out content to the extent that I do. On October 1st, the Federal Reserve is now mandated for all banks to carry at least 4.5% of tier 1 assets like gold or other money. Where the BRICS is storing or backing their currency by 40%, we're trying to combat them doing that by us holding 4.5%. Right now, it's currently 0%, by the way. Isn't that crazy? Our dollars have to be backed by 0% of anything of real value. But now we are pushing 4.5%. That's happening on October 1st. Then we have the BRICS meeting in October, and then we have the November 5th election. So there's about to be a lot of crazy things happening, folks. Like, we are getting ready for some big things. I know over the years, if you're a stacker, you've heard them say this time and time again, oh, big things are about to happen. But right now, they really are, right? The BRICS meeting is happening. There's 150 countries joining that meeting. On October 1st, we are pushing that. There is a November 5th election, which is the most important election in history. Right? There's really big things happening. And look, numbers don't lie. I always mention actions speak louder than words. You could talk, but what is actually happening is what matters. Follow the money. Why is India doubling their amount of silver they're importing this year? Doubling it this year. Why are all the countries in the BRICS nations buying so much silver? It's not ironic, folks. It is happening. Also, why are all the billionaires, Warren Buffett, Jim Rogers, why are all the wealthiest people, the central banks, the most powerful countries, all accumulating so much silver, by the way, specifically silver, if it is worth nothing? Don't look at the price now. Price is the greatest tool of misdirection. Just because silver is low, that's why people aren't paying attention to it, but that shouldn't determine its value or why you're not getting into it. Oh, it's not doing anything. Yeah, your friend that's saying that to you, that means they're determining silver's value on what the price is doing now. That is going to get him burnt. That is such a silly thing. When you're investing in something, you're looking at where it's headed, why it's headed there. You're invested into it. Just like you're invested into a person or, anything, you're invested into it looking forwards, not where it's at now. And silver makes more sense than anything else by far. Sorry for that little rant, but hopefully it was worth it. So Indians buying gold and silver is a method of savings, especially because it can be sold for cash if needed, and because they have little trust in their own currency. Indians are big gold buyers, and they buy with excess cash following their harvest season. Hindus will often wait to make large gold purchases for their fall festivals, and this is from their Dhanteras and Diwali. India and East Asia together represent about 65% of global silver jewelry demand. By the way, this also reminded me that Mexico is potentially nationalizing silver, where Mexico, most silver we dig up is coming from Mexico and Peru, and actually China recently. And Mexico's about to nationalize it, saying, you know what, all this silver's on our soil. Why are we giving it away? Especially, when silver's so valuable. So that's a whole other situation that's brewing up as well. Although India's affinity for silver has been mostly for physical coins and bars, silverware, and silver jewelry, the nation of 1.45 billion people is enjoying a strong and growing economy. As the country continues to modernize, they are turning to renewable energy along the way, and that means a lot more solar power, aka silver, photovoltaics, PV cells. Silver is used in the solar panels, it's photovoltaics. Now, not only is this what Mexico's doing, but not only is that important, but solar panels actually use twice as much silver now, because these new N-type solar cells, they are putting panels on the backside of the solar panel, because when these solar panels are in deserts or places like that, you can capture energy from the sun's radiation, or not the sun's reflection off the sand hitting the backside or the bottom of the panel. So now solar panels are literally using twice as much silver because they're putting panels on the bottom of it, because you can get twice as much energy with the reflection off the sand as well, which is genius, but that does mean more silver, along with Samsung's new battery that uses a boatload more silver. You could charge your EV in 9 minutes. I mean, we're talking about all of these industrial innovations, as I've been talking about, as we advance in this new digital technological era. We're going to need more and more silver. Samsung's new battery, that's just the latest thing. I'm sure in a couple months or a year, there's going to be another battery or another thing that uses way more silver as well, especially with the direction we're going with AI chips, and nuclear. Think about it, folks. People will be looking back and they'll say, how did I miss this? And they'll be missing it because they weren't subscribed to channels like mine. So according to the International Energy Agency, or the IEA, India will lead the world with the largest energy demand growth of any nation over the next 30 years. It seems highly likely that a lot of that will go to renewable energy. And this is a chart which shows a massive surge in renewables so far in forecast 2024 over 2023. Look at last year compared to this year. Doubled. They've more than doubled. This is insane. In fact, research, and by the way, not only is this renewable energy doubling, which is why they doubled their silver imports, but we're also seeing a shortage of over 700 million ounces in the last 3 years alone. 252 million ounce supply deficit they're expecting this year. 190 million deficit was last year, right? We're talking about over a billion ounce deficit in just the last 4 or 5 years. That is insane to think about. And that silver is not coming back and getting recycled like gold is, because silver is used for industry, so it's thrown away in landfills. In fact, researchers from Rystad Energy suggest India will see explosive growth in solar manufacturing over the next 3 years. So according to their estimates, India is set to triple its panel manufacturing capacity by 2027. That's why people are saying the industry will consume 100% of silver by 2025. The industrial sector will consume 100% of the silver we have. Now, we're not going to go into all of this stuff, but just remember, once ready, this desert will host wind turbines, mostly solar panels, generating 30 gigawatts of energy to power 16 million homes. And it seems like this is already starting to happen. This is imports from July. About 2/3 of silver is in grain form, which is modified to convert into usable form, such as silver paste for solar panels, right? The photovoltaic cells, PV cells. Other applications like electronics, medical applications, silver jewelry, silverware. 29% is the form of bars, suggesting it's mostly for investment purposes. Now look at the same chart for March. We see a huge shift from bars towards grain, suggesting demand has moved dramatically towards industrial applications. Wow, folks. Now, I know some of you, this might not seem as big of a deal as it is. The ones that get it, you guys realize how big of a deal this is, especially knowing how scarce the deficit, or I guess how extreme the silver supply deficit already is, and how critical of a role silver plays as the most highly conductive metal. You cannot replace silver with copper or anything. You can't. We're only going to need more silver, right? Notice the surge in imports past February, 70 million ounces. That's 64% of 2023's full year imports in just 1 month. 64% of 2023's imports in just 1 month. Last year, India imported 3,625 metric tons. Indian ministry data shows that first half of 2023, the country imported 560 tons, while the same period this year saw 4,554 tons. And this is, look, and then they're saying the industrial demand could double between 6,500 and 7,000 tons. We don't have that much silver. That's just for India. What about China as well? And that's why this article is titled The Next China for Silver. They're not talking about China. They're saying India, the the next China for silver. So think about India and China, think about Russia, think about military and aerospace. Silver is heavily used in military. 500 ounces of silver in a single Tomahawk missile, 11,000 ounces in some torpedoes. So with all these wars going on, that's requiring silver. Where's that silver coming from? Folks, we are in such a dire situation that anyone who says, oh, well, we have plenty of silver, or, the fundamentals of supply and demand can't affect it because the price is suppressed or manipulated. No amount of manipulation can stop the potential of something that is this valuable. Maybe with gold or something, which used more for a monetary metal, it's used more for jewelry and coins and bars, sure, because it's recycled back into more jewelry and coins and bars. But when you're talking about something like this, manipulation cannot stop that. And if anything, these countries are grabbing it all for cheap now because they know how undervalued it is. Think about it. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I know it's pretty long. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is important stuff, folks. You have to subscribe. You have to. I'm not just saying that to get subscribers. I'm genuinely saying that because I'm giving you important information on a daily basis that you have to know. You have to know this stuff. So anyways, yeah. I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you guys wanted to purchase some of this shiny stuff for incredible prices, then email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com, or call me 330-485-6172. I will take care of you. I will make sure you're taken care of. You could buy any amount. There's no minimum. There's no maximum. We're the only company that could fill a $50 million order. Twice, actually, we did that. We've taken the largest orders in the world from a person. That Texas billionaire bought $55 million worth. The year after that, someone purchased $50-something million worth. Nobody else trusts another company with that much money. There's a reason why they trust Miles Franklin, because it's Andy Scheckman representing the company, and nobody can do what Andy does, and nobody can follow Andy's footsteps, and I'm honored to be able to represent that company. So make sure you hit me up. I'll take care of you. Anyways, yeah, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.